This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review, taking a look at your MLB overnight lines for the games on Tuesday, August the 2nd. Let's start with the Toronto Blue Jays and the Houston Astros, a very interesting series. Two teams jockeying in the midst of a very heated American League playoff race. Jays in the hunt for the AL East, Astros in the hunt for the AL West. So these are big games here between these two teams in this series. And I think for Tuesday's matchup, we've got an edge with the Houston Astros in this minus 140, minus 145 price range as a home favorite in this one. Lance McCullers just continues to be very good for the Houston Astros. A 3.18 ERA this season for McCullers. Houston is 6-3 in his 9 home starts here at Minute Maid Park, and he has a 2.28 ERA in those games. And then when you look at his advanced stats, his peripherals, his advanced metric numbers, he really is shining right now. His ground ball rate, it's at an elite level, not just a good level, an elite level. 57.5% that ground ball rate. That is just absolutely phenomenal. He's keeping the ball down. He's getting ground ball outs. His strikeout rate is just tremendous. 12 strikeouts per 9 innings almost that he's averaging. His FIP and his XFIP are actually even better than his ERA at 2.75 and 3.13 respectively. His swinging strike rate is at 12.7%. He's just getting a lot of swings and misses and a lot of weak contact right now. All the signs of a bet-on pitcher you could ask for are what we're seeing from Lance McCullers here of the Houston Astros. So I know he's facing a good Blue Jays lineup, very tough Blue Jays lineup, but he's facing them for the first time. Usually that's something that favors the pitcher. You give him the advantage in that situation, and I do think McCullers will have the edge here. On the flip side, we've got Toronto sending their veteran knuckleballer R.A. Dickey on the mound, and after a nice little run that he had, he's really hit a rough patch in recent starts. He's been smacked around, has R.A. Dickey, allowing 18 runs in his last 14.2 innings of work over his last 3 starts. You look at what he's done against Houston, specifically here at Minute Maid Park, not very pretty. Dickey's allowed 12 runs on 19 hits in 12 innings of work over 2 starts against the Astros that he's made here at Minute Maid Park since 2014, both of them with the Blue Jays. So he's had a real tough time in this ballpark against this team. Houston mediocre on the road this year, but you can't argue with the fact they've got one of the better home records in baseball, 32-21 for the Houston Astros at home this season. I think they're going to have the edge. Their bullpen's been better as of late, capable of preserving a late lead if they get one, and I think they will have one because I think McCullers probably gives them a better shot early in the game than Dickey gives the Jays. So I like Houston here, minus 140. The price is reasonable. It's not, a bargain by any stretch, but given how sharp Lance McCullers has been, I think Houston with some value there, minus 140 to get that victory. Let's see what else. Miami and the Cubs. Miami, Jose Fernandez off a little bit of a rough outing last time against the St. Louis Cardinals, and he has been better at home than he's been on the road, not just this season, but going back throughout his whole career. But I'm not sure I trust Jason Hammel. Jason Hammel, to me, has never been a great second-half pitcher. That's usually been the time when he's been more vulnerable to getting hit. So maybe a lean to Miami there in the second game of that series against the Cubs, although even money price, you could argue the value not great, but maybe a small lean to Miami in that one. Texas and Baltimore, what a big-time series this is. Two teams fighting for their respective divisions. Yu Darvish against Dylan Bundy. I think Dylan Bundy's got good stuff for the Baltimore Orioles, but he's yet to really establish that consistency. I think in time he's going to be a pretty good option in this Baltimore starting rotation. Certainly they're not going to be afraid to try him out in this rotation because, again, Baltimore's just crying out for starting pitching help, and they're hoping Dylan Bundy can provide that. He had a rough first start against Tampa Bay, but since then against Cleveland, 1 run in 5 innings. Against Colorado, 3 runs in 5.2 innings. He's had 1 walk to 13 strikeouts. Dylan Bundy in his last 2 starts, so good peripheral numbers, and we'll see how he fares here against this Texas Rangers lineup, and this Texas Rangers team that, just moments ago, before this video was recorded, the trade deadline passed, and what a job they've done. I mean, Carlos Beltran, Jonathan Lucroy, talk about big-time additions to a lineup that was already very good. I'm still worried about the back end of that starting pitching rotation, but with Yu Darvish healthy, Cole Hamels, 1-2 in that rotation, wow, Texas is going to be a force to beat here in the American League. Speaking of Darvish, he's on the mound in this game. Just been very, very steady. He's allowed 3 runs or less now in 4 straight starts. Funny thing is, he's pitched well enough to win in each of his last 4 starts, but Texas is 0-4 in Darvish's last 4 starts. So he's deserved a better fate. We'll see if he can pitch well here. Baltimore, of course, been a big-time under team as of late. Huge to the under. I think they've only cashed 1 over. 2 overs actually in their last 16 or 17 games. Probably initial lean here for me would be under the total, Texas-Baltimore on Tuesday. And it's a real tough game as well as I look at this card. Shields and Sanchez in the White Sox-Detroit game. I don't like Anibal Sanchez, but at the same time, I don't want to back the White Sox. That's a team that's totally in free fall mode right now, selling off at the trade deadline. James Shields has actually been terrific of late, and it's tough to bet against him in that underdog role. I like Detroit and the way they're playing, especially at home. They're really playing good baseball right now, the Tigers, but I'm not laying that price with Anibal Sanchez. That's all there is to it. I mean, maybe you look at Detroit later in the game or in-game if they fall behind early, but I just can't lay minus 135 with Detroit and Anibal Sanchez. As good as Detroit's been, he's not a guy I want to lay that price with. Angels, too, I was looking at them. Shoemaker against Sean Manaea, but Sean Manaea has been better of late for Oakland. Really, really good. I mean, you look at his numbers in recent starts for Sean Manaea, the Oakland lefty. He's been much better. He has actually shut out 3 of his last 5 opponents. In 3 of his last 5 starts, he hasn't allowed a run. And other than that, he got hit around by Minnesota a bit, and even in his last outing against Texas, where he gave up 3 runs on 11 hits in 6.2 innings, still been very good from a control and command perspective. Last 3 starts, not a single walk and 22 strikeouts for Sean Manaea in his last 3 starts. But I don't want to go against Matt Shoemaker. Like I've said, I like what Shoemaker has been, the way he's been pitching of late for this LA Angels team. His track record against Oakland this season, dominant. He's allowed just 2 runs in 12 innings over 2 starts against Oakland this season, so he's got good numbers against this Athletics team. Lean to the Angels. I don't love the price. It's pretty high, close to minus 150 on the Angels here. Also lean under the total because Sean Manaea really starting to pitch well. His control has been impeccable. He's ratcheting up the strikeouts. He's getting lots of swings and misses, and I'm not convinced Oakland's going to hit Matt Shoemaker with a ton of success here. So lean to the Angels, lean under the total in their game against Oakland on Tuesday. All right, that's going to wrap it up. That's my look at MLB overnight lines for the games on Tuesday, August the 2nd. I'm sports handicapper Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. Until next time, enjoy the games and good luck.
Always on the go? Bet365 has one of the top mobile platforms in today's market. Sign up today and don't let your busy life keep you out of the game.